Everything's important, and we just manage it with the amount of time that we spend, but we still mix between video, making sure that we cover certain things on the field. The most obvious thing is the physical load on some days in training has to take into account the number of games in a short period of time. But we don't really change the way we work. We just adjust in terms of how we work on things on the field. And of course, there's another challenge of making sure that the guys who don't play on a given day are trained in a way that they're ready when their moment comes. Look, Jordan is a really good guy. He's always been a model professional during his time here. Works hard, sets a good example, shows leadership ability. So it was really good to have him on the field. The game started where there were a few plays in terms of just the keeper taking the ball or us maybe losing a ball where very quickly they tried to play a ball in behind to Douglas. And Douglas was pretty much up by himself at that point. So Jordan, of course, took off knowing that he's not as fast as Douglas, but Eddie was typically in position with him. And then I think we were able to adjust, not only from Jordan's standpoint, but from the team standpoint in terms of how we controlled some moments better so that those situations didn't continue for the whole game. So good to have Jordan back on the field and a guy that you can always count on. We always, I mean, to be clear, we have certain football ideas, and we've worked on how we build those ideas, how we improve in all ways from the start. And I don't think that you can really become a top team if you're constantly changing what those ideas are about. So even when we're down some players, the overall way that we want to try to play stays the same. There can be some minor adjustments in terms of formational things in moments where will your midfield look more like 2-1 or still with 1-6 and 2-8s. But if you work on a regular basis with some understanding and some fluidity, then you're not focused on the formational aspect. You're focused on the understanding and the details and the way things connect on the field. So what you'll see is us doing our best to go on the field and know that certain guys are getting opportunities. They've been trained the same way as everybody else all year long, and now we're excited to see how some of the players who get their chance will do. As a club, we've always tried to work closely with our players to help them get better, to challenge them, to push them forward in their careers. And part of that involves earning their way into their national teams. And so if that's your philosophy from the start, if that's the way that we've always done things, then you can't change that. And players appreciate the way we work. I think it's the reason that one of the reasons that guys feel good about coming here and playing here. So no, we didn't ask for any special consideration. Initially, Diego was not in the 23, but when there was an injury, that changed. And to a man, everybody in the club, all his teammates, staff, everybody's really excited for Diego. And now it's our responsibility to play in this next stretch in as strong a way as possible, knowing that, as I said earlier, some guys get their opportunities. No, none of this was really influenced by my time as a national team coach. Wherever I've been, whether it's the national team or the club team, the relationships that you have with players, the partnership to try to help them improve, to push them forward, as I said a second ago, that is a key. That is a big part of motivation. If players feel that they play for a club and the club doesn't care about them in other ways, then I don't think that creates the best situation. So we have always been strong in that, and I'm proud of LAFC and the way we look at these situations and try to push our players forward.
And when do you think it's possible they might be back? Do you think that Galaxy game is a possibility?
Yeah, I think you're correct that on paper that's the possibility. I think anybody who's been around Brad in his career knows that first and foremost he's a great guy. He loves the game. He was excited with the way we trained and some of our ideas. We were always trying to help him understand that there's certain things he's done his whole career, and we don't want to get in the way of that. The number one thing is his ability to find chances and finish. But that we also felt that there were some things that maybe were different than he had heard before that could help him still improve. We always want players to come here with an open mind to work together and see if we can help make them even better. So in all ways, he's been a great guy to work with. It's easy to see the qualities that he has in the box, his finishing, his timing. And we keep trying to work on some other details so that his overall contribution, not only scoring goals, but in other ways can grow. My first thought is that I don't know why the league's playing during this international break. So around the world, clubs have to find a way to support national team situations with what goes on in the club. And we can all sit around and argue whether in this particular international break games needed to be played, but in some parts of the world they're playing qualifiers, and it doesn't work well in a league where now we're scheduling games while all sorts of players are away. We're excited to sign Mahala. He's a young attacking player that we've gotten to know very well. For a young player, he's got a tremendous personality and a great way of working every day. The players really like him, and he's earned everybody's respect, not only with his play, but just the way he shows up every day with a big smile and really excited about the opportunity at LAFC. We are in discussions always about how we can make our team better. And we are faced with some situations. Tristan's injury came at a bad time. But we continue to try to figure out how to handle things. That also was complicated with Danilo's retirement after suffering a setback on his return to play. So those are situations that sometimes pop up. It seems like this year there's more of them than most normal years. But you balance two things. You balance always looking to improve with the training of the players that are here every day and making sure that when certain situations arise, those guys are ready to step up and play. So that's a little bit what we discussed at the beginning of the call with regard to Jordan. And we'll continue to look for ways to be as strong as possible as a team, front to back. Speculation. So far, most of what we've read is something about a loan, and I don't think that the situation to just be loaning a player out at this point works well for the club. So there's always the possibility that with any of our talented players that teams come in to buy players, and in the end, the club makes a decision that's good for the club and good for the player. But I've not heard anything about an offer to buy Latif, so I think the rest just becomes speculation. Andy is ready to play. Whether it's 90 minutes is still a question that we don't have a great answer to. If you look at the numbers so far, the most he's played is 45, so I'm not sure the jump can go from 45 to 90. We have versatility in our team, and we've shown that in different ways over our time. We've shown it, for example, with Latif, who started here as a wide attacking player and has played in the midfield, now has played it right back. Another example, when we were in Orlando, we used Mo a little bit up front, out wide. So we try to get a feel for the versatility of players. We put guys in different situations in training, and then that way we feel that we have cover depending upon the circumstances.